Republicans wanted to delay the implementation of key parts of Obamacare, which go into effect tomorrow, but that will not happen, which means that those healthcare exchanges in New York State will go live at midnight. Starting now with the facts first, just who's impacted by this? Well, mainly those who currently don't have insurance. You'll be shopping in the individual exchange to search for coverage. If you work for a business with fewer than 50 employees, then you might have to shop in the group exchange for coverage, but you also have to wait until you hear directly from your employer, because ultimately it's the business owner who will decide. And if you work for a large company with more than 50 employees, or you're currently on Medicare or Medicaid, these exchanges will not impact you this year. Our Jennifer Lukey has been leading our coverage on the Affordable Care Act, and she's joining us now live with a look at how small businesses will be handling these changes come tomorrow and beyond. Jen?
Well, Dory, many months ago, for more than months, actually a year or so ago, there has been a lot of talk about this law and its requirements on businesses. If they don't offer health insurance to employees who work more than 30 hours a week, they'll face some pretty stiff penalties from the government in the coming years. Many businesses locally are still trying to figure out how it all impacts them and, more importantly, their employees.
Weeding through the healthcare law, the requirements and the options has been somewhat of a nightmare for many small businesses.
Health insurance is a big concern of ours. Throughout the years, we started trying to help the employees by having multiple plans, different deductibles, but that has all changed now with the new reforms and all that.
And now they're just trying to get a grasp on the options.
We actually started the first quarter of 2013 trying to look into what we're going to do in 2014.
Open House is ahead of the game, but many local businesses are trying to play catch up.
A lot of small businesses are still somewhat surprised. They're so focused on running their business and meeting their payroll on Friday to know, is this really going to impact them? And the answer is yes, it will impact them.
Basically, starting tomorrow, small business owners will go online to the state's new shop exchanges and see whether offering employees coverage there is more economical than offering a traditional plan. In the exchange, the employee and the employer will still contribute, but the boss may get a bigger tax break.
And it's going to depend on whether or not they'll be eligible for those premium tax credits. So it's going to be dependent on the makeup of their employee base.
If it goes the way of the exchange, how will that impact the employee?
They're going to be having a different shopping experience and having a lot of different choices. And it's going to be very important that they get the education and information they need in order to be able to make the right decisions.
Now, there are some local businesses who tell me that they will have to consider cutting hours to avoid those penalties of not offering insurance to everyone. But there is still another year or so before those penalties kick in. So, of course, they're still looking for alternatives. Dory?
Jen, talking about some of these penalties here, the businesses have requirements, but also the individual does as well. And if an employer does not offer coverage, then you have to buy in on these individual exchanges, or else you could be penalized, right?
Right. If you don't have health insurance starting next year, you will be penalized by Uncle Sam. In 2014, it's a fee of $95 per person, or 1% of your annual income. In 2015, it jumps to $325 or 2%. And beyond that, it's $695 per person, or 2.5% per year. Now, looking at these numbers, you may see that it could be more reasonable to pay the penalty than it will be to pay the premiums. And that is the fear insurers have. If the young, healthy people don't buy in and only the elderly or sick people do, the whole affordable part of this law comes into a question.
Certainly a lot of information to digest. Where can people go to get the condensed version, I guess, the details of all these programs and all their options?
Well, we'll be here all week with stories about this, but there is a website in New York. It's nystateofhealth.ny.gov. We can, of course, link you there. That site goes live tomorrow and should have all of the information you need to get started. And remember, it opens tomorrow, but you don't have to rush. If you want coverage come January, you just need to buy in before December 15th.
All right. We will be continuing our coverage. Again, you're going to be leading it for us. Thank you so much, Jennifer.